sniper, he's got that gut feel, that human element that allows him to calibrate a sniper rifle very well. That's based on experience, that's based on skill, that's based on mathematics. But at the end of the day, the most difficult thing, the thing that can throw off all his calibration, is the point where he pulls the trigger. So if you think about hybrid intelligence, what that means is that the human does the calibration, the AI has no emotion. The AI pulls the trigger. The AI figures out and calibrates and tweaks the bullet's trajectory thereafter, right? So through cooperation, human and AI can make a kill shot. Truly, data is a rising asset class. And it has enabled us to co-create new value in a number of very different industries. So today you've heard a little bit about Nusa Health and BioPay that we're doing together with our friends at Universitas Gadjah Mada. But there's one that I'm really passionate about, which is the industry of video games. Many people think video games is just a toy, it's just a teenage leisure pursuit. It's kids wasting time behind their computer screens. But if you look at the statistics today, in 2016, you have $99.6 billion in terms of the industry size. And just to give, in case it's a little bit too small, dark green is PC games, 29% in gray is TV and console, that's your PlayStation and Xbox, and 27%, the blue section at the bottom, is essentially your mobile gaming industry. And forecasts say that we're expecting that to grow tremendously. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to share a little personal story about how I landed up in this area together with SixCap. When I was 11 years old, right, I used to play a lot of video games. In fact, I used to play StarCraft. And whenever I go home to play StarCraft, I would always lock the door when I'm hiding in my dad's study so that I could play in peace, right? One night, I forgot to lock the door. And then my mom walks in on me while I'm playing a competitive multiplayer match. And it's one of those things, that you don't really want to get caught doing because, many other things that you could get caught doing, you can pause, you can minimize, you can mute, you can alternate tab, you can alternate F4, you can control alternate delete, you can kick your computer, you can do many things. But when it comes to a competitive match, you can't do any of those things. One does not simply pause an online multiplayer game, okay? So my mom walks in on me, right? And then she says, "What the hell are you doing?" Right? What the hell are you doing? And I thought to myself, oh my God, this is game over, right? She's like, "Why aren't you studying? You should be studying after school." Okay. "Why are you playing video games? Why are you wasting your time?" And I thought to myself at the nascent age of 11, as naive as I may be, okay, hold up. She wants me to study after school so that I get good grades. And to get good grades, you get into a good class. You get into a good class, you get into a good school. You get into a good school, you get a good job. You get a good job, you make good money. So I thought to myself at 11 years old, if I could play video games and make good money, I wouldn't have to take this. I could do exactly as what I feel so passionate about. And that moment changed my life entirely, okay? From that point on, as I started to be a responsible young kid and try to balance my passion for gaming and studies, I became obsessed about this concept of earning as you play, right? And then I started to trawl the internet for different ways I could do that instead of trying to work at a game store. And then I stumbled upon this concept of the gray markets. The gray markets are very interesting. Just like in this picture here, the gray markets in the gaming industry essentially means that any game that you know of that allows players to trade items within the game would have a peripheral gray market on which people could trade items for real money. So I go to the forum, if I meet you, you meet me, you tell me what your price is, I sell it to you, and then after we go onto the game and then we trade the items and the publishers have no clue, right? It's great, and that's why we call it a gray market. It felt really good about it. In my best days, I think in my the most I've ever made in a gray market in a month was 3,000 US. I was hovering at an average of about 500 to 800 US on an average month, but my best month was 3,000 US, and it was great. My dad found out, and then, he asked me, being the very supportive dad as he is, he asked me, so what's this gray market thing all about? And I explained it to him, in the game, there's this apple's so rare, and then, I just keep getting these apples, and I keep selling it, and I make $1 a pop, and then I sell a lot of apples, and then he was like, okay, well, hold up, right? If you took all this passion, and then you put it into the real financial markets, imagine the amount of real money you could be making, right? But it's just not the same, right? But there's one thing that I noticed that I got really sucked into in dabbling with the gray markets. It was that dabbling in the gray markets was very time-consuming and it was very complex. And my dad was right? The obsessive disorder that I had about it, the amount of time I was spending on it, the amount of stress that I was putting myself under just because of it. First, I definitely lost sight of the game that I was playing, so the whole point of playing a game was gone. And the second thing was just, it was chewing up so much time that my grades were starting to get affected. So he was genuinely concerned about that. And that just didn't make any sense. So fast forward to today. After, 6-cap, after the good run that we've had so far, we've built this core engine called RiseBull, which essentially is based upon this concept of hybrid intelligence. And then I sat down and revisited this much earlier and naive passion of mine, and I asked myself, imagine a world where gaming is no longer a teenage leisure pursuit. It's not a kid sitting in his room, locking the door, turning off the lights, alone together with a whole community of people online playing video games. But what if gaming could be a productive activity? Wouldn't that be awesome? What we realized that this could do is that it could create new opportunities and future jobs. So what we did at 6-cap, and we piloted this prototype, and then we called it Tag. We launched Tag. Tag is essentially a web-based strategy game prototype that we launched, and it essentially is a game that combines both offline and online gameplay components, allowing users to earn as they play. How we do this is by leveraging the hybrid intelligence core engine that we have created to stabilize and maintain the in-game economy, enabling gamers to earn as they play. Today, we stand at 109,000 taggers or gamers on the platform who are helping us and providing us a lot of data as to how we should advance this concept. And coming soon, we're going to be engaging together with our co-creation partners at AirAsia, 110 million netizens, to see how we can gather more data in this field. One of the cool things that's coming up at the end of this, early next month, is that we are going to be painting one AirAsia plane for the next 18 months. It's going to be flying thousands of flights between Jakarta and Singapore. And I think one of the really interesting things that we want to do is to bring our Indonesian taggers over. One of the phenomenons that brings a lot of confidence to my team that's working on this project is that our taggers that are in Indonesia, they were very, very passionate about the same thing. This whole concept that gamers have deeply rooted in their hearts of a world whereby we could earn as we play. And one of the interesting things and heartwarming things that happened was that we didn't have an Indonesian customer service support system in Singapore. So what our Indonesian taggers did was that they started their own Facebook page, and until today, all our Indonesian customer support for all our Indonesian taggers is completely user-generated. And we co-create with our own taggers to see how we can help grow Tag. And I think that's a very interesting model, especially when we start to move forward. 2017 is an exciting year for Tag as a game, because we're currently engaging our game developers, called Tag Games as well, to develop the mobile version of it. So a lot of the data that's coming is going to really help in producing a stabilized and maintained in-game economy for this mobile game. But this talk is not so much about Tag. This talk is about how AI can change things. So one of the things that we did in the Tag team was that we wanted to take it one step further with AI. For those of you who are not aware, this is the Dota 2 championships. It's called the International. There have been 6 versions of it. What I'm going to share with you today, or right now, in fact, is about the rise of esports. Esports today is a billion-dollar industry and is dominated by a few of your heavyweight competitive games. The 2 largest games in this current universe are Dota 2 and League of Legends. League of Legends boasts about I think it was over 60 million players, and Dota 2 boasts about 40-odd million players. But the interesting thing is this. If you look on the right side of the screen, you see prize pool, and you see the amount raised for the prize pool. It's $20 million for the recent and concluded in August International number 6. The picture below shows you what the esports tournament looks like and the kind of scale that goes into it. So the first team takes back $9 million for being the best. Right? This is just to give you guys a feel of the size of esports today. It's really hard to put into words and explain to people the kind of passion that goes behind it. Oh, the triangle didn't come out. Okay, never mind. So how did the International get to $20 million? Valve put out about $1 million for it by themselves, and the rest of it is completely crowdfunded. If you look at the bottom over there, you can buy this Battle Pass, and 25% of the proceeds of all Battle Pass sales goes directly to the prize pool. So that effectively tells you that the $19 million that was injected into the prize pool came from 25% of all the Battle Passes sold online. So that gives you a feel of the following. The reason why I wanted to show you this triangle, which unfortunately the triangle below is not really coming out, is to show you this concept of the 1% and the 99%. For you to be able to earn as you play in an esports realm, you need to be of that 1%. And the entire earn as you play module that sits on top is fueled by the 99% of people who do not have access to the same privileges as the 1% who are able to earn as they play. So we launched a new concept called Mana Pool. And what Mana Pool does is that it democratizes professional gaming. How does it do that? It monetizes gamer data as an asset class, turning gaming into a productive activity. And then after, we use AI to optimize gamer performance and improve the gamer's ability to earn. Let me talk a little bit about gamer data. Is that something that's nebulous and hidden in a corner and completely controlled by game publishers that you can't touch? Answer, no. This is dotabuff.com, and it essentially pulls down the open source gamer performance data from all your top games. Disco Llama is a fellow colleague of mine right here in the front, and showing a gamer's stats like this is kind of like pulling his pants down, so I will try to do this in the least painful manner. Over here you can see the number of matches he's played, his win rate, his kill-death ratios, his kills, his deaths, his assists, the kind of characters he uses in the game. Every last detail of his gamer performance is available here, right down to the very item that he used in that match. The time it took for him to win that match. What was his performance within that match, right? Oh, here's an even better one, right? This chart shows you, I mean, there's a chart that was above, but it couldn't fit into the frame, but essentially that shows you a heat map of every single day in the year that he played and how many matches he played and whether he won or not. So you can probably get to the point of saying, like, you know, Disco Llama can't play Dota 2 during August because maybe he was dating a girl, so, you know, he was totally trashed during that period, but September, he was good. In the middle, you see activity by hour of day. So from here, you can see green means he's winning, red means he's losing, yellow means he's averaging. And if the bar is really high, that means he plays a lot. And the bar is low, he doesn't play a lot. You notice that, oh, it's too small, you can't see it. But the tail ends of the graph, it shows you, you know, the twilight hour that I like to call it. That's your 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. kind of range. And you notice that when it becomes like an 8 p.m. kind of session, he does pretty well. But when it gets a little bit past 4 a.m., he's total trash. So just basic analytics like this, if the AI can pick it up and push to Disco Llama and says, hey, dude, you know, you should totally stop playing at 5 a.m. You know, you should probably, if you're going to play at 8 p.m. And if you do play at 8 p.m., you should probably try this strategy, because as an AI, I think it's better. So we want to see a world whereby the AI can support the gamer on Mana Pool to be able to improve his ability to earn as he plays. I know I don't have a lot of time, but I just wanted to end off with an interesting note, just to wrap up this whole concept of human relevance. This man here is Tenzin Priyadarshi. He was introduced to me by a very good friend of mine who's seated in front, Prajna Merdaya. Prajna is from Central Chipta Merdaya Company, and one day he felt that, you know what, Paul, you got to talk to this guy. This guy's insane. So a little bit about Tenzin, the venerable Tenzin Priyadarshi. As you can tell from the looks of him, I'm not sure if you can see it very clearly, but Tenzin was trained by the Dalai Lama since he was 7 as a full-on Tibetan monk. It was the first time I got to meet a Tibetan monk. At the same time, he's also the director of the Ethics Initiative at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Media Lab, MIT, right? And he's a brilliant guy. You know, that night when we met and we had thorough conversations around the concept of human relevance, it was mind-boggling and painful on the brain. I like to quote Tenzin to wrap up this talk about human relevance. Humans have not perfected human-to-human interaction, period. We may think ourselves as very advanced human beings, but we have not mastered the basics of human-to-human interaction. So therefore, we create tools to help us. We create tools like Shadowit. We create tools like Facebook. We create tools like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter to help communicate to one another a lot better than we could have without. The second thing that Tenzin was very passionate about was, at an advanced stage, AI should no longer be considered a new tool, but a new species, right? And the reason why we need to start moving towards a model whereby we can advance ourselves as human beings into a model whereby we can improve our human-to-human interaction is because at an advanced stage, we're not just going to be interacting with humans, we're going to be interacting with a new species called AI. And in our discussion, one of the things that we landed upon was hybrid intelligence, or this concept of cooperation, collaboration, and co-creation between the two species, human and AI, would enable us to co-create a sustainable future moving forward. And I think this is testament in terms of the different examples that I've tried my best to showcase to you guys. So I don't have a lot of time, but if you guys have any questions on this topic, be it human relevance from a philosophical and sociological standpoint, or gaming, you can find me on Shadowit. Thank you very much.